Oh, come on.
The intro's
Come
gone.
on. That was the perfect. Oh.
I can't. Like, if I got the music on, I won't be in this conversation. I'll be too busy listening to fucking Billy Rock and the fuck out. All right?
Man, I was really enjoying that. I thought the listeners would too.
Yeah.
Next time, I learned my lesson this time.
Oh, right on. Welcome to A Nice Place to Brew. I'm Jason.
And I'm George.
I'm Paulie.
Today is August 6th. This is our Thursday webcast. We do our webcast here on the Facebook and the YouTube channel every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our website is www.aniceplacetobrew.com. Our podcast is under the same name, A Nice Place to Brew, and is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and all the places you get your podcasts from. Our podcasts go into great detail about craft beer, home brewing, and every episode has a specific topic and subject matter. So, there's a big catalog there. So go back and check it out, and check us out on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Nice Place to Brew and A Nice Place to Brew. How's everybody doing?
Yep. Doing all right.
Good. How you guys doing? Happy IPA day.
Happy IPA day, and I need a beer. Jeez.
Yeah, you do.
Came unprepared. Oh, he's got it.
He's got one. Yeah, he's got to open it. All right. What are you drinking tonight, Paulie?
Father's Mosaic Promise, because it was just re-released for the season. So I'm excited about that. It comes out in the end of the summer all the time. So it's probably one of my favorite commercial beers for $15 a 15 pack. I can crush them.
Okay.
$13.99 on sale right now at your local Benny's. Hashtag Jason.
How about a hashtag Where's Polly? That seems more fitting for that one.
Touche to that one.
Yep. What about you, George?
So Well, I have my lemon lime shandy.
Okay.
You can't really see very well in here, but carbonated up nicely, and it's got a good balance of fruit and shandy beer, going on. So I'm pretty happy with how it came out.
That's awesome.
So what about yourself?
So I have what I believe to be my final pecan porter, which is made from 512 Brewing Company down in Austin, Texas. So
okay,
I got a 4-pack of this early on in the summer, and I've enjoyed every one of them. So I'm sad to see it go. It just means when the world comes back together, I can travel down to Austin and enjoy some more.
There you go.
Yep, sure does.
Weird.
Austin's a great town. If you guys, George, I know you've been. Paulie, have you been to Austin before?
No, but I know there's a guy in the room here that his family lives in Austin, so I'll let him take the mic for a second.
All right. Okay.
Sure. Rick.
I think that pretty much everybody knows.
Naomi, come on. There we go. Let the dog out.
Oh, Rick.
Hey.
Welcome back to the webcast, Uncle Rick.
Thanks.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
My middle daughter lives in New Braunfels, Texas.
Okay, right outside of Austin. Yeah, that's true.
In between Austin and San Antone. She works at the Children's Hospital in San Antone. And we've been there, several times because of that. In fact, my oldest daughter and her family lived there for, a year or two. So we've been there quite a few times. If you guys ever go, you should check out the Museum of the Weird. It's on
in what city is that? In Austin or New Braunfels?
Austin.
Oh, it is in Austin. Okay.
Yeah,
Museum of the Weird.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, it's cool, but it's kind of like if somebody did a Ripley's in their garage, but it is kind of cool and kind of well
in the garage.
He's right. It's kind of like Ripley's on a budget. Yeah.
I love this idea. I've got a friend in Austin. I'm going to text right now and ask about this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Why am I getting? You know what I'm getting? Flashes up in my head.
Hi.
What's that?
Did we lose you? Uncle Rick?
No, I'm waiting for you to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm getting flashes of in my head, just hearing that? A lot of those homemade haunted houses around Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They have shows upstairs and back. They're really inexpensive. It's kind of interesting. One cool thing they do is all the carny people, like the budget carny people that do different shows, they kind of like welcome them. It's like part of the circuit, and they let them perform there. So a lot of these people are like kind of traveling, you know. They might travel like with a group, or maybe they're just going from gig to gig, city to city.
Got it.
When they're in the
Sure.
area, they stop in, they do a show. I've seen, I don't know, several, magician freak show kind of things there. It's all pretty cool. It's, it's low budget. It's fun. It's something very unique to Austin, though. I don't know of anything else anywhere like that that I've been.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice plug we gave out there.
Do you know where the Moody Theater is? That's the one they do Austin
Yes.
City Limits from on 6th Street. Well, it's kind of like about 5 blocks the other end of 6th Street from there.
Oh,
You can walk from
okay.
the other. And all the bars, as you know, probably are on 6th Street also.
Yep. Nice. The long row of them.
Last time we were there, they started something new from previous years, where now those bars along 6th Street, they'll have one guy outside playing, jamming music, and they'll have like their regular act inside. And they don't charge anything for, admission for any of these bands. And the bands change like every hour or two. There's just tons of musicians there. There's just tons of variety of music, all different stuff. But now they all seem to have an act out on the sidewalk, sort of a, you know what I mean? It might be an acoustic guy or a guy with a guitar and an amp, or something. But
Yeah.
he's supposed to draw you in to see the other act, kind of thing, But they're all doing it now. It's kind of funny,
Austin and Portland both share that, we're a little weird off-center type thing. Honestly, I think Austin, although I think they're in danger of going too far Portland, Austin has struck a good balance of being kind of off-kilter but not being annoying about it. Whereas Portland is, Portland's weird is just, pretentious hipster nonsense most of the time. Is the way I look at
I've
it.
never been there, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
This weekend was in Indy visiting my oldest daughter, and she gave us a couple beers. Polly's going to show you later from a brewery down there, Taxman Brewing. It's just south of Indy. I think it's a newer place.
Taxman, not what I'm familiar with.
Like I say, I think it's a newer place, Bakersville or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that same name too. So
you have heard?
I've heard of it. Is that place devoted to the Beatles? Is that where they link it to?
Oh no,
that would make sense.
Yeah,
it might be.
just a thought.
Hold on.
Yeah, that is a pretty prominent lyric in, I forget which song, but
that's a title of a song, isn't it?
That is the title of a song. You're right. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, it may very well be associated with the Beatles. So yeah. All right.
So
yeah,
here's the one. We tried this one. It's a blonde ale, Belgian. It's called Gold Standard.
Gold Standard. Okay.
And let me see. Bargersville, Indiana. Bargersville. Is where it's from. And here's their IPA, Hop Audit Sultana.
That'll be my IPA drinking beer today. For the IPA.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Sorry.
IPA day.
Yeah.
National IPA.
So yeah, I had never heard of them, and she picked them up for me. Had them waiting there when we got there.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
like I say,
Nice.
I'm pretty sure it's a newer brewery, but I could be wrong on that. It's new to me anyway. Well, here's the boss bat.
Speaking of that, I gotta go get my logbook. Hold on, the fort.
Okay.
So did you brew, George? How's your
I did.
fermentation?
I did. I brewed over the weekend. I did my starter, and I pitched the Marzen steam yeast along with some USO5 because
Okay.
I couldn't do as big of a starter as I wanted, so I did the USO5 just as a bolster. So it's in now, and as far as I can tell, and this is why I don't like using opaque fermenting vessels. As far as I can tell, it's working, but it hasn't built enough pressure to register on the valve yet. So I'm waiting for that to happen. Keeping an eye on it to see if to make sure I'm checking it periodically to make sure that it doesn't over pressurize. But yeah, it is in the keg with the spunding valve on it in my fermentation chamber, sitting at 67 degrees. So just waiting for it to do its thing.
Is the spunding valve relieving on its own?
Well, it has. I was telling Polly it hasn't built up enough CO2 pressure to trip that yet. So
yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just pitched yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday. So yeah.
Were you able to play with the thing and adjust it when you were brewing, like we talked about the other time? Adjust that thing? Okay.
And I was able to spin out the little silver part at the end. So unless I miss my guess, I think I'm gonna have it somewhere 810 psi that it'll maintain in that area.
All right.
So we'll see what happens. So, and I've got it inside the keg with the floating dip tube, so I can draw off the top and into the next one. Yeah, that's moving along. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Jason, did yours finish up?
It did. I'm slowly cold crashing it right now. And by Saturday, it'll be moving into the keezer. I'll probably top off the pressure a little bit before I start serving it. But the fermentation chamber will be freed up for another brew day, which will be this Saturday.
Nice.
I'm brewing in New England, and Paulie has had considerable influence in, and his help is well appreciated because I didn't quite know just what a new endeavor this was going to be. Brewing in New England
for New England,
I mean,
and it's a different animal for sure. And Polly,
it's a completely different animal.
No need for a 100-minute whirlpool,
right?
What?
Yeah,
100-minute whirlpool. Whose idea was that?
That was your idea.
What?
Well, okay. So for everyone that.
Go ahead, Joey.
For everyone that wasn't involved with this conversation, Jason said a screenshot over to Polly and I, asking
that's
pointers.
what you're talking about. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's absolutely what I'm talking about. Yeah. And he put a whirlpool edition and must have fat fingered it because instead of a 10-minute whirlpool, he had it as a 100-minute whirlpool.
Yeah.
And Polly rightfully pointed out, he was like, I don't think that's right.
I looked at like, what is going on here? Like, whirlpool for 100 minutes. I mean, you'd be chilled by that.
Hey, listen. I'm being innovative, okay? Nobody's done it before. I'll be the one.
Go big or go home, right?
Yes, that's right. Forget that I have no idea what I'm doing. Clearly. Is that here? I present my evidence. Exhibit A. My client does a 100-minute whirlpool.
There we go.
Case dismissed.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, like this is becoming quite a recipe / project. I bought more hops yesterday than I would normally buy for like 4 batches. It's crazy. I think I walked out of Brew and Grow with, I'm sorry, the world famous Brew and Grow out of Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Absolutely.
Enter the promo code Jason. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think I bought like 10 packets of hops, and it will all be.
Wow.
I mean, all of them will be either late boil edition, whirlpool edition, or dry hop editions.
I do not envy you trying to filter those into the primary fermenter.
Yeah, I have some concerns about that as well. I'm going to follow the timetable that Polly generously gave me. What was recommended was do your first dry hop edition at high krausen, and I'll just have a regular mesh bag sanitized and do the addition there, and just hopefully the the bung is strong enough to create the air seal. I trust it will, and that'll be that.
Okay.
Then after that, transfer to a secondary and do the same thing over again.
Jason, I didn't even use a bag the first time. I just dumped the hop straight.
See, you know what? George and I did that same thing. Our early days, we would dry hop that same way. Just pour them. I'm gonna use a bad word here. We just would bareback right into the fermenter with the hop addition.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we've all done it. I mean, see all that green stuff coming through. That's the thing I love about the whole world. Yeah. You get most of it down. As long as you get that thing going well enough and let it sit long enough, that little cone will be sitting there in the middle of your kettle.
Yep.
I would maybe take like a first pint out of it or something, because that's where all the hop tube that's in your valve will get caught during the whirlpool. So
take
a little bit of that out.
2 questions. Number 1, do you want to share this recipe with the class, and we can talk about it? And number 2, assuming this goes well, are you going to do another one where you sour and add lactose and make the devil's 3-way?
No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay. But for the first question, do you want to share with the class?
I'm trying to think how I can best do that, because I am not on my normal Beersmith computer.
Oh,
you are though. Are you?
I'm not actually.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez.
Okay. Well, but I can pull it up in Beersmith and kind of read the ingredients. I just can't present it.
That'll work.
Or why don't you, or one of us could turn it into a PDF, like print a PDF, and because I mean it's right here, but it's not here. That's the problem I'm having at the moment. So all right, tell you what, guys, talk amongst yourselves. I will. I'll be
George
right
is
back
gonna.
with
George is on the case. All right.
All right. So Jason,
what'd you call it?
It's Jack's Hazy. Jack's Hazy 2020.
So did you end up getting the cryo like we talked about?
No, I just bought extra regular.
Okay.
So that'll be just fun.
And you know what? The best thing to do, I would say, at the end when you do that very aggressive double dry hop, before you transfer it to your keg, put it in your keezer or pull your fermentation chamber down to like 40 degrees, because that'll make all those hops drop out to the bottom. That's it from the dry hop.
Yeah, that's just a regular cold crash.
Yeah, I would cold crash it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't use the bags. I throw all the shit straight in there. It all drove me crazy. You see that little thing floating around the top. It's like,
Okay.
You're not even getting a dry hop to it. That's just my opinion. So
let me ask a couple of basic questions. Do I still use a Whirl Flock edition at the end, or is that just going to take away too much of the haze?
Just don't even do it. I don't even use Whirl Flock. No, just don't use Whirl Flock. Totally. Because
all right, that makes sense.
All those proteins you're wanting in there, that Whirl Flock will take away.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. So I mean, but I guess the same school of thought could be applied to cold crashing for this type of style. But I guess to your point though, if you're just throwing in hops without a bag or any way to then kind of get it out of the liquid, then that's one of the things that you can do.
Exactly. And
so what if I'm using hop bags like I described? Does that take away the need?
No, I mean if you use it, if you're not using hot bags, you don't have to cold crash. I mean, and I like that would make sense. But the reason why I love cold crashing is as soon as I transfer it into the keg, I can start carbonating it right away. It's already cold. I don't have to wait for it overnight to get cold before you turn it on.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
All right, can you guys read that?
Does. Yeah. Well done, George. Can you go in a little bit closer?
A little bit more.
How's that?
Yeah, we got it.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. All right, great.
All right.
So yeah. Okay. So you want to run it down from the top, Jason?
All right.
Sure. The grain bill, 10 pounds of 2-row, 4 pounds of Munich malt, 1 pound of flaked oats, and what's not included here, this was a late addition, is 4 ounces of carapils, which I always add to every batch just for the head retention. Then on to the hops, and there's a lot. So we have one.
Stop there. Is the carapils a good idea this time around? Because
for head retention?
Carapils, well, but the reason it's good at that is because of all of the different protein conversion stuff that it helps with. And I'm wondering if that's going to be detrimental to your hazy effect.
That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
At 4 ounces, it's probably...
You're worried about throwing Whirl Flock in, you know? I think the
I'd be more secure. Yeah. Well, it's too.
Is it all together?
Hello? Check. It's all together. Yeah, I'm.
All right,
I'm
then
committed
it's too late.
to this.
Then
There's
it's
nothing
too
I
late.
can do
You're
about
committed.
it. Yeah.
Unless you want to pick it out. You know.
No, it's ground up. No, it's not possible.
All right.
Can you imagine somebody doing that? Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So there's 2 boil edition of 2 hops that are boil editions. Cashmere at 10 minutes, Citra at 5 minutes, and that's it. So there's no early bittering addition, which you're used to in a typical homebrew batch. So that's one of the areas that this really deviates from what a typical brew day is like. So you're at the end of the boil now, and now we get into the whirlpool. So whirlpool is going to last at least 20 minutes, and there's 2 different additions of hops during the whirlpool. At 20 minutes, we're dumping 2 ounces of Citra, and then 1.5 ounces of Amarillo with 10 minutes left. So that's a total of 3.5 ounces that are whirlpool additions.
So why didn't, if you're doing, 2 ounces of Citra, why 1.5 ounces of Amarillo? Why not just do 2?
You know what? I was mostly just reading off the IBUs in the Beer Smith, and that just felt like an area that was comfortable.
Okay, and that's fair. I honestly, you might want to just play with it real quick, because I doubt that 10 minutes left in a whirlpool that you're going to get a whole lot of extra IBUs out of it. Out of 1/2 ounce, you might get like 2.
That's probably true. Fair enough.
You know what? I would make it just easier, Jason, and just do all that whirlpool at the same time. throw it all in at the same time, and then you whirlpool for 20 minutes and transfer it.
Well, that's going to be a lot of extra IBUs.
Okay.
Well, man.
Is it though? Let's see. So you go from 8 to 13 if you do 1.5. So you go up by 5 IBUs. And if you just
If you go the whole 20 for the whole 20,
the whole 20, and if you throw in 2 ounces, at 20 minutes, then you're at 18 IBUs. So you've gone up 10 IBUs. You're still well within range.
Really?
Yeah. Because your range
I thought
is 40 to 70, and you're going to be at 59.
So the recipe right now with no change, I thought it was higher than that. Hold on.
Yeah, no, if you look at the
Something
printout
changed.
right there, it's 49 IBUs the way it sits here on the printout.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys are changing my mind here. I think that seems like a better direction. I honestly thought I was higher than that.
Okay, I changed it back in the recipe just so I.
And you're making your brew day easier that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, less clock watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm in. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay.
All
right. Yeast. All right. We're going to ferment with London Ale 1318. That's a common go-to hazy yeast.
Yep.
And I've got the packet here. And as soon as we're done with the show tonight, I'm going to go and make a starter. So I'll have a good 48 hours with a starter. The recommendation for cells, according to Beersmith, is going to be around the area of 250 billion cells. So some time on a starter will be important to get all that. And then we bring ourselves to our dry hop additions. We've got Amarillo, Cascade, and Citra. The Amarillo will dry hop for 5 days in primary. And then Cascade and Citra will dry hop for 3 days in secondary.
Yep.
That's primary. That's a high craising like we keep talking about. So
yes, exactly. Yeah. When we talk about the high Croizon edition, that's going to be where we put in the Amarillo, and the Cascade and Citra will be in the secondary.
Well,
okay.
The whole thing about the high Croizon edition is you're going to be doing that like as soon as that thing goes off in the morning, you'll probably be doing that next morning, or like literally once it starts really get going in fermentation, that's when you're dry hopping.
Which after 2 days on a starter, that's going to be quick. So yeah, you're right.
It's going to be quick. Yeah, it's going to be the next morning.
Yep.
So keep an eye on that.
I wonder what the chemistry is on that. Like, what is it? The agitation from the yeast or the Croizon that affects it differently? Like, why? Because that's the first time I've ever heard dry hop during high Croizon was in this style, and I don't doubt that it has some extra effect. I just don't know what it is. So
you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, who told me about this was Dave Campbell from Onshore.
Sure.
Yeah, but like he's like there's something with during fermentation and the oils of the hops that just gives it a certain flavor, and that's the flavor that they're looking for. Like when I built my first recipe, I talked to him, and he was the one that talked me through it. Just because back in the hazy days when they first got going, he was in the heart of it. He was working at a brewery in Jersey. So
right.
That's like I keep hearing that's what everyone's doing. That's why I do it to my own, and so it's worked out pretty good for me so far.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm sure it has some effect. I'm just curious, like what it is, and I really need to become friends with a chemist that I can use and abuse when I have questions like this.
Well, can we reach out to our friends at Yakima?
You know what? We could drop them a line and see if they have some insight into that. That'd be actually
that seems
really
like
good.
A very reasonable question to ask them.
We have been talking about getting together on a podcast episode. Hops in a New England IPA sounds like a pretty good topic to me.
I agree. And the chemistry of a high Croizon edition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great idea. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Drop them a line and see
yeah.
what they say.
All right. Good deal.
And I have sent an email out to Omega. I haven't heard back yet.
A certain
Yeah.
yeast lab.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Well,
oh yeah, actually, right here, sure.
let's
Here, show
let's
them
just go to their competition.
Uh,
the perks of working at a
I
home
can't
are
say
so-
that okay, now we're giving them a free plug. So all right, now we're bound to this. I can't be like, all right, screw you guys. You haven't responded to us. We're done. No, Polly's wearing their colors. No.
oh man.
I'm on it. I mean, it was awesome
Yeah.
that one day at work, all of a sudden we get a box. It just says Omega Yeast on it. I'm like, what's going on here? Open it up, and there's T-shirts and hats, all that fun shit in there. So
Well, I mean,
all over and over.
when you work at a world famous homebrew shop, you gotta expect swag, you know?
Right?
Oh.
Brew and Grow is to be feared and respected.
Yeah. In the Chicago
Fear.
land.
Ooh. Yeah.
Feared.
Fear.
One word from
Can you
them.
guys-
Your company's done.
Hey, Polly, can you talk to the people about printing T-shirts that say that? Brew and Grow, to be feared and respected.
You know what?
That's some amazing branding.
Next time Sean or Jason call the store and I get to answer, I will ask him that question.
Yes.
'Cause they call
Who are
us
they?
all
Are they the owners?
owners' kids.
Okay.
The actual
Okay.
owner,
Got it.
the actual owner is Dave, and his kids run it now. He's still owner.
Okay.
His kids run it.
Okay. All right. To be feared and respected.
Oh man. So that is an aggressive hop profile, sir. More power
Sure
to you.
is. It's a hot profile unlike anything I've ever done before.
Yeah.
So
It blew my mind when I did it the first time. It made
Okay.
the brew day real freaking easy because once you got boiling, I'm like, I got nothing going on for the next 45 minutes. Actually, you'll have plenty of time to get everything clean. You know,
oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
it could make
Is
the
this
end of
the
the brew day
one
a lot.
that? Is this the style that I think was it Sean that basically said they turn it on and then go over to the bar for an hour?
Yeah, yeah.
That would
'Cause
make sense.
The New
Yeah.
England.
I know,
Yeah.
I know Sean and Jamie and all them guys. What they do is they don't even their dry hop edition is all Whirlpool. Like after seeing what they're doing, like their dry hop edition is just all Whirlpool. Like I want to do some kind of bittering. That's why I did mine at 10. I did mine at 15. He's doing his at 10. That's your little bit of bittering that you're going to get out of the hop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that right there, that's why I struggle to call this style a New England IPA. It's, yeah, there's a hell of a lot of hops in it, but I struggle to call it an IPA.
I agree.
yeah, I know. But, when you think about it, like a true hazy or New England, it's not the IBUs aren't there, but you're not putting all this fruit and lactose and sour and doing all that crap that people are doing. You're still using the 4 basic ingredients, and you're coming up with flavor profile this way. So, I mean,
True.
for
You're not wrong.
it must be an accepted style because there are BJCP guidelines now for it.
No, I have no problem with the style existing or anything. I just have a problem with the label IPA because that evokes a certain, when you hear IPA, you think bitterness, you think,
I
kind
see
of
that. I see
West
that.
Coast feel. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree with that, but maybe I was just trained to the point where when I hear hazy or New England, I know I'm not going to get that. I'm getting a juice bomb. I'm not getting
Right.
I'm not getting something that's got any bitterness to it. So
Sure. No, I totally
that's
get
my
that.
whole thing with it. But what I have a problem with is all these people putting lactose and all this fruit in there and all that. It's like, and the funny thing is, I try every one of them. I always get a taster of it. Actually, I could probably count like 3 of them that I actually liked, where I bought a 4-pack on my way out the door. But still,
so the one that I really like a lot, that whenever I'm down in Richmond and go to the bottle shop, there's one called Das Yummy, and it is everything you hate. It is a Berliner Weiss sour lactose IPA, although it's more New England fruity IPA, and it lives up to the name in my opinion. Das is yummy.
I mean, so wait a minute, it's a Berliner lactose.
It's a Berliner. Mm-hmm.
See, that's the base beer. That's interesting because I love Berliner Weiss. So I mean,
Berliner
lactose. But everything else you add to it, you're throwing all these flavors at it. I'm like, I'm not going to knock it till I try it. How about that?
Yeah,
I would always.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. So. Yeah.
Oh
man.
So
I have some.
What?
Go ahead, Polly.
I was gonna say, you guys have any horror stories we could tell about homebrewing just for fun, like stuff that's happened when we got it? I got one. I definitely got one. I'd love to tell. So I could tell a couple of them.
Have at it.
Have at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my buddy Brian, the guy I first started brewing with one time. We were him and we brewed together so much we had it broke down. We had one guy worked in the kitchen, did all the prep, cleaning, stuff like that, and one guy watched the kettle, watched the mash, did this and that. So one time, he's getting ready and we're in the middle of a boil. He's like, "Oh, I'm filling up the carboy." I'm like, "All right." He's out there for like 15 minutes. And finally, I'm like, "Dude, whatever happened to that carboy?" He's like, "Oh shit." He runs in the house. Things overflowed. He flooded his cabinets. And then all went down to the basement, flooded the basement.
Oh.
Yeesh.
I call him Poseidon the whole brew day.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh man.
Poor house.
Then there was another one we were trying, like early days, we were trying to figure out the brew kettle we had because we didn't have a valve on the bottom, and it just came off the burner. I'm like, I got a welding glove, that should be fine. I grabbed the bottom of the kettle to try and tip it, dump it, and I burnt up my 3 fingers. So it sucked, but it's still funny. I can laugh about
through the welding glove.
Through the welding glove, yeah. And then we alleviated that by we made a handle with tie wire because it would be cool. That's how we would do it because we didn't have the valve on the bottom, and like whatever we brewed in our kettle, we dumped it like in the mash tun, a hot liquor tank, and all that. And then when it coming from the kettle after chilling to the fermenter, we used a pump, and the outlet of the pump,
right?
We had to start in a whirlpool, so it was oxygenating the wort as it was getting filled. When we were done, we pitched the yeast and it was ready to go.
Right. So
I'm sure I love these.
Yeah. No, I do. But you made me think of something, Polly, is that I do have a valve on the bottom of mine, and I will quite often, and when I'm done with my whirlpool, I'll just put the end of my pump into the catalyst and just let it, suck all the stuff. But I was thinking if I want to do something a little bit more gradual, like and not pull any of the trube or anything after my whirlpool in, which again with the catalyst not as big of a deal, but as I have a Hellfire burner which I don't know if you can share that, Jason.
Oh, those Hellfire.
Keep talking. I'll get it.
Uncle Rick has one, but go on.
Okay, so I have a Hellfire burner, and right now it sits on the ground, with the short legs. But I'm considering getting the leg extenders, and which are not cheap, but for that, if I'm going to have the burner and a pretty heavy kettle sitting on top of it, they should be fairly heavy duty. So I am considering getting the Hellfire leg extensions so that I can get it higher up off the ground, be able to move my fermenter in and drain slowly off, from the side, basically, so I can avoid bringing all that stuff over. Part of me wonders if it's totally unnecessary and if I'm going to be causing more problems by having hot liquid high up in the air. But I'm not sure what the best thing to do there is. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know. Those legs are nice because, like I said, Uncle Rick has the same. He's got the same burner, and he's got the legs, and they're easily interchangeable.
Okay.
And it was kind of funny.
They are. Yeah, it's just a few screws.
It was kind of funny because he did mention to me, and I told him it was you. I'm like, yeah. He's like, if he wants to borrow them, he's more than welcome to him. Like, he lives in Virginia. He's like, oh, I thought that was Jason. Sorry. I mean, we can ship it to you until you get your own. And make sure you ship them back.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're not the cheapest thing in the world. So if I'm going to pull the trigger on them, I want to try to make sure that I'm going to use them on the regular because they are interchangeable. We are talking about, 8 different nuts and bolts and making sure that they're tight and secure and everything. So it's not exactly a quick change either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kind of thinking about that, I'm wondering if that's what the cost benefit on that is going to be,
Gotcha. I mean, I get it. Like, if you don't want to bend over all the time, but you got a pump, so you really shouldn't have to worry about it. Once you got that pump, you can transfer wherever you got to go.
That's a good point.
Right. Yeah, and for the most part, like I still do the thing where I lift my mash tun up on there, but that's pretty much the only lift that I do, and it doesn't get that heavy, so I'm not overly concerned about that.
Actually, with Uncle Rick's rig that I helped build, the only time I ever got to lift it is for the hot liquor tank because I don't have a hose long enough.
Okay.
To come from the out of the pump to get up on the third tier. But once we get that hose ready, this thing will be all automated for him. I mean, does your pump have the throttle control on it?
No, it doesn't.
You need to get one. I'm telling you. I was preaching to Jason about it. You need to get one of these things. Once you use them, it'll change your life. I mean,
yeah. I mean the full speed of the chugger that I have when it comes to my Herms setup and Whirlpool and everything, it's actually kind of fine. Like I don't have any concerns about it going too fast or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I do want to get another pump in the future, and when I do, it's going to be one with throttle control for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone I know, there's something you can buy to get. You can buy one of those things called speedsters, to where all you gotta do is plug your pump into that, and now that's the master switch for your pump. You can have it run full speed, or you can throttle it to whatever speed you want.
I was actually thinking more along the lines of the the Blickman pump, the Riptide pump with that dial on it, that the flow control. That's what I was thinking of.
I get it. I mean, I don't want to. I try to spend money on Blickman unless I have to. I'll build it for cheaper.
And a lot of times I do. A lot of times I do, but sometimes they just make good shit. Like that Hellfire burner is ridiculous.
I'm not going to with you on some of the stuff. They're like, hey, Kiyomi, how you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just funny because I see some of their stuff, like their one kettle. I'm like, I'm not spending $500 on this kettle where I can build the same thing very similar. Sorry, I can't turn my temperature or my thermometer to up. It's about the only difference. But some of the other stuff,
Big
I'm
deal.
with
Yeah.
it. The thermometer they have, $20. I'll buy those day and night.
So
Do you use a thermometer?
I have an in kettle thermometer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I use the thermometer coming out of the chiller. But you use submersion
Okay.
chill, right?
I do use an immersion chiller, yes. Yeah. So,
Sorry.
Paulie, to your point, I was wondering if maybe instead of investing in these leg extensions, if I should build myself a mobile cart that I can put my Hellfire burner on, that I can then be able to move my kettle over to my my setup for draining, and then move it away for burning and things like that. That's what my buddy has. He built a wood frame cart on casters, put tile down like a kitchen floor tile, so for heat resistance, and then that he burns on top of that, and then he's got his pump attached to it, and it just is kind of like a mobile brew station. And
Yep, those are. I mean,
Yeah. There's a lot of examples out there like that.
oh, there are. Like,
Yeah.
the one that I work on at Brew and Grow, the one that I've been helping Uncle Rick with work on over here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, the wood ones are nice, but I mean, if you really want to spend all the time measuring out a system out of wood and doing all the work with a tile, you spend the same amount of money. You get these wire racking systems. Rick, how much did you pay for your racking system with all together with your add-ons?
$160 or something.
$160, and he's got the racking system ready to go. It's all stainless steel. It could be adjustable. I mean, you know what? Remind me tomorrow. I'll send you pictures of, Rick's system. I have them in my phone.
Okay.
It's just nice because you can put that on casters, and you don't have to worry about being wood and, heat resistant or anything like that. And then you can just roll it right out of your shed, and then you're brewing. Have your pump mounted and everything.
Hey, Paulie. David told me today he saw somewhere somebody selling a bunch of them for like $10 each.
Okay.
Those shelving things.
Okay.
Those are the exact same ones.
Oh, all
I
right.
think it was a business, but I can ask him if somebody's interested.
Yeah. Uncle Rick just said he's got heard online a bunch of that racking for like $10. So I can look into it for you, George, if you're interested in this.
Will they ship it out to me?
One way or another. How about that, George?
Okay. It's quite the snow globe.
Sure is.
Right? That's a pretty good globe right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say if you're gonna do something like that, I would do it like a wire racking system, because then you can play with it. Because once you build it out of wood, you're kind of stuck with it. But you get the wire.
I agree.
And like the one that he's got, I think it's a 2 by 4 foot, and then he bought an addition that's a 2 by 2, and that's where the hot liquor tank is on.
Now my where I do my mashing and my hot liquor tank and my whole gravity system and my Herms, that is on a wire rack. So the only thing I was looking to do this for was for my boil kettle, be able to raise my boil kettle up and have it be mobile so I can move it over, do the drain off my mash tun, and then, move it away so I can have more room for, because you have to kind of know my setup a little bit, but I have to move it away to be able to have enough room to be able to do the boil and everything. So that's kind of what I was thinking of for just doing that, not a whole brew sculpture kind of thing.
Well, what you could do with that is get yourself like a 2 by 2 wire racking system, have two different shelves on it, or a way to, you can bounce it around. I really send me pictures of your setup, and we'll talk. We can talk about. Send me some pictures of your setup. Now you got my gears flowing in my head. So
Okay.
I've helped,
All right.
I've helped a few people build some systems. So now
Just let the
you
let the engineers do their thing.
yeah, right. You're trying to talk about it right now.
I'm just
You're getting. So.
Yeah. You asked the question before, Jason, what keeps us brewing? And part of it for me is what screwy way can I do to still be a part of the brew day, but make this easier? Like if I don't have to lift up my boil kettle once the drain into the mash tun, I'm not going to shed a tear. You know, I don't want to go full on robo brew or anything like that because that just feels a little too automatic. But, you know, if I can eliminate the annoying parts, I'm gonna.
I mean,
the
I'm telling you,
MacGyver moments. That's what
The
that
MacGyver
comes down to.
moments. That is
Yeah.
what that comes
Yeah.
down to.
you know, the whole game changer of this thing is you have that pump. You can do whatever you need to do. You can always pump it wherever you have to pump it to, as long as you keep
Right.
your pump below any vessel you're going. You know, maybe your mash tun, maybe your hot liquor tank's gonna be high because I don't know. I would still use gravity for my hot liquor tank. But
So, Paulie, I got a question for you. So you know, people tend to will pump up to their hot liquor tank, but if your kettle is down here, your hot liquor tank is up here, and you're pumping up to that, won't you inevitably have that amount, like the line amount, that you're not going to be able to pump that amount of liquid up? So do you just take a measurement of how much that is and call that basically dead space in your transfer? Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yes.
I see where you're getting at that. You could do that, and then how to fix that. You could either do it the cheap way because your bottom point is going to be your pump. Yeah,
right.
You have a bucket down there. You drop that in there, drop it in out of the pump or out of the liquor tank up top, out of the kettle, out of the pump, or you could just add a little bit more water in what you need for your loss, because that's going to be the amount of water you're losing in your transfer.
Which is still dead space at that point if that's how you're doing that.
That's my thought process.
Now, one of the things that I just thought of is you could put in a right angle piece that could, in theory, go down even further than whatever your end point is in your pump. And maybe even getting into, the bottom of the hot liquor tank the same way you would like in a brew kettle. If you have does that make sense? If you have a right angle piece going downwards
into the kettle.
Yeah.
Like
on the inside piece of wherever your valve is.
Oh, yeah. No, it does. But so that I'm less worried about that and more worried about the water that'll be in the line that won't. But then you won't be able to push up.
I see. Okay.
We're probably talking about like a quarter gallon at most, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that is, that's still an amount, to
save the water, man.
That's why a little bit more water.
I'm being a jerk.
Like I said, you can either try and drain it out of the line, or you could just account for that, the extra quarter gallon or half gallon or whatever you're going to lose, and then you still get your volume up top, but you're still you've already calculated your loss in the lines. I mean, if you want to, you could save. Like I said, you can either try and save it and dump it back in, or you can put a little bit more water in there, and that accounts for that half gallon or something at the end that you thought you collected. But, we forgot losing that.
So I have thought also about going the full-on Tony route of putting in probably 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch PVC to be able to transfer my liquids around and everything.
Yep.
Have thought about that.
I would say don't use PVC. I mean, if you're gonna use plastics, check the temperature rating on these plastics. I would maybe suggest using CPVC because I would. That's just me being the plumber I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, and that's fair. And I like when I made my Herm setup, I say PVC, but I used CPVC. But I would because you're right. CPVC is rated at higher temperatures, typically used on the hot side of hot water I'm sorry, water heaters and things like that. So yeah, so I definitely would, but I was thinking you were going to say use copper, but
No,
yeah, I'm glad you didn't
no,
say that. Yeah.
no. I wasn't going to say that because I know you can do a lot cheaper with plastics, and just make sure it's rated for the temperature that we're going off of. Because one thing I learned from one of my pro brewer friends when I was home brewing, it's like when I was talking about using the cheaper lines, like because when I first started chilling, we did an immersion chiller, and we had a pump and a pre-chiller where we just kept dumping ice, filling it with water and dumping it ice. And that's what we did instead of coming right off the tap because we were trying to save water because we're on a septic system. You don't want to have water running for a half hour. And and like when he brought that, he's like, yeah, if they're not rated for that, all the carcinogens and all the crap coming out of the tubing out of a tubing that's not rated for that temperature will hurt you. And that's why I know regular PVC. And like I said, here I am being the plumber trying to help everybody.
Well, and looking at it, CPVC is rated at TG is rated at 275 degrees. Now, to your point, PVC is only rated at 176. So transferring from the kettle to the hot liquor tank for the sparge, you're verging on too hot. But if I'm going to do this with CPVC, I think I'm never going to get over 100. I mean, I'm never going to get over.
That's past the boiling point.
That's past the boiling point. Exactly.
You never would.
So yeah.
But actually, when you put yourself together, did you use a one-step glue or the two-step glue?
I used primer and glue.
Okay. They actually have a glue compound for CPVC. It's a one-step. You don't have to primer it or anything. I've done
and I think that's, to be honest, I think that's what I got, and I primed it anyway.
All right. All right, I get that. I'm not gonna say anything about that one, but yeah, okay. Because I think when I first started using it, I did the same thing till a journeyman yelled at me. I'm like, all right, sorry, I put the primer. Sorry.
So.
Oh yeah.
So Jason's bored, Polly. We should include him in the conversation.
No, this is good stuff, you guys. This is education for me. Just sitting back and listening to this. I see this as listening to two guys that are way smarter than me. So I take a lot away from this. No, I mean that sincerely. So don't mind me.
Actually, Rick, can I have one of those IPAs? I'm going to tell you about this IPA for IPA Day from
it's IPA Day. Paulie, can you give a brief description of just how this IPA Day came to be?
I have no fucking clue, to be honest with you.
Damn it! I thought if anybody would, it'd be you. I don't know either. Damn it!
I saw it on Facebook.
All right, to the Googles.
That's my favorite. I love that. Oh man.
Every day's got something day nowadays. I mean, they got a special day for every fucking day of the year.
Yeah,
so.
Talk like a pirate day.
Oh God, I have fun with talking like a pirate day. I text everybody with, look out, you text haven't had you're gonna be getting pirate brewing texts from me. Talking about rum.
IPA morning, stout afternoon,
Yeah, like Rick
dividing them up.
Yeah, Rick says if we keep it up, we're gonna have an IPA morning this afternoons in the winter or something like that.
We'll be doubling up on them.
So
yeah,
says that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, right? But I don't know if it's official. Like I'm sure everybody knew this, but they just released that Full Bad is not happening this year. So
that did break today. Yeah.
And then I did get the news 2 days ago that my hollowed Indianapolis 500 is going to be run without fans at the track this year, which I was waiting for this to happen. It was going to happen. And I'm not upset about it. The only thing I'm a little perturbed about is I would have the best seats in my 20 years ago, and it's going to be in the penthouse in turn 1. For
Wow.
Yeah, because I stumbled upon them. But whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So IPA day, American craft. These Taxman guys are good. That Belgian wasn't too bad. What if they can make their way into Illinois? So what's like the new happening? Any good beers going on down there in Virginia there, Mr. George?
Oh, there's always good stuff going on. Hardywood's gearing up for their fall beers, which are always a hoot. Mama's is going to come out, and a few other ones that Jason and I are big fans of. So yeah. Fall
Mama's
beers
is coming out this year.
Yeah, it is. And so fall beers in Virginia are always very. I mean, because we are, with Skyline. Is that Skyline Drive? Yeah, Skyline Drive and a bunch of other kind of national park tourist destinations. We have a lot of people that descend upon the more forested areas of Virginia in the fall to see the leaves change and everything. So a lot of breweries and wineries and places like that will heavily invest in that season. So you end up getting a lot of really good fall beers, fall wines, things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, like they call up in the, because you're in the south, or you're on the south coast or southeast coast. Up north, are they like the leafers up there? Is that what they call? What do you? I'm sure you got a name for it.
I'm sure they do out near like Harrisonburg and things. It's not as big near where I am, but yeah, it's basically kind of like the leafers coming up to see the leaves change. Yeah.
The leafers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Quick question about wine, George. I think you know this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell me one time that Virginia is like second to California as far as wine production in the United States?
Last time I checked, I think it was 3 or 4. Like Virginia is up there in wine production.
Yeah, quietly.
Yeah,
you would not expect it, but that's very cool.
Actually, another place is actually getting well known for wine in the U.S. is quietly, like you said, Virginia is Southern Illinois. I've heard stuff about.
I have too. Yeah.
All in Southern Illinois, all the wineries down there. I remember what I saw like a brief news article about it years ago, and they were saying like the soil down in Southern Illinois is very, very similar to what it is in France, where they're making all the grapes are growing and all that. So that's why like Southern Illinois is like a secret wine spot. It ain't Napa Valley.
Right.
It's everything down there good,
Look up. I think there's blossomed a couple of nice, like fairly recognized wineries down there. Let me look that up.
Have you ever heard of Scratch Brewing down in Southern Illinois?
Scratch
Brewing. Their brewery is actually in the Shawnee National Forest. And what they do a lot of adjunct beers, but all the adjuncts, they go out into the forest and pick them themselves and then put it in the beer. Like you'll get a wildflower of this or something like that, and they'll go forage it in the Shawnee National Forest, which makes me really want to go there just to try some of these adjunct beers and stuff like that.
It's funny you should mention that. I just stumbled across a website, and it's and it's devoted specifically to the Shawnee National Forest. And yeah, there's a whole section on here about wines. So it's definitely a thing.
Oh, yeah. I keep hearing about it. I need to go down and probably do it. Like when I went down there was only a couple breweries, Copper Dragon, which is now closed in Carbondale. That was a cool brewery because they turned a old movie theater into a brewery. They had the front lobby was like a lobby area where you could sit and have a beer and all that. And back in the movie room, they had a stage where you could see music. And they literally had a Copper Dragon hanging from the ceiling in this room.
I love that so much. I love that so much. An old movie theater that converted into a brewery.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That is up your alley.
It totally is. Oh, my God. I wish I would have thought of that.
Oh
Gosh,
yeah.
there's so many thoughts that just come back into my brain just hearing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I digress. 15. There's 15 wineries in this same county in southern Illinois, in the where the Shawnee Valley is.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Shawnee National Forest covers the whole, like, almost a good chunk of southern Illinois, and it goes into Indiana, and into, I believe Shawnee actually goes into Missouri too.
Then in Missouri too. Okay, so it covers the whole. Yeah.
It's a whole area. The Shawnee National Forest is like I had friends that live in Carbondale, so I spent my time bouncing around there. Like, I've been to Little Grand Canyon. I remember one year for 420, we went to this place called Fountain Bluff, and we were climbing down this cliff, and we sat there along the Mississippi River and just watched it flow by, and there's nothing going on. We skipped some rocks, and then we left. I've been to what is it called? Garden of the Gods. Oh my God, that's a must. If anybody's ever driving through Southern Illinois, and you got the time, at least stop at Garden of the Gods. You will see parts of it. You will not believe you're in the state of Illinois. I mean, they got the Camel Rock. It's a big rock that looks like a camel sitting out there in the valley. So sorry, my plug.
Wow.
No, you're good,
My plug for Sean.
Never been.
Yeah.
I've been to a town in southern Illinois called Metropolis, Illinois. That's
Yeah, right there on the border. Right.
it is
Down the
it is
street.
very close to the border. Yeah, that's true.
Down the street from
You know-
Gotham.
You know what the newspaper is called in Metropolis, Illinois?
Daily Planet.
Take a while. It is.
It
And they
better
have
damn well
Superman.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you ever
it
heard
was-
of Cairo. Ever
What's
heard of
that?
Cairo, Illinois. It's right where the
Oh yes, I have. There's a big piece of history down there. What is it? Oh, geez.
it's a river town. It's where the Mississippi and the Ohio
Yeah.
River meet, right at the tip. It's turned into a ghost town now. It used to be a hustle and bustle in town, but stuff
Yeah.
happened. Now it's like a ghost town. You can walk through this town and it's a ghost town. They don't even have a grocery store in this town anymore. And it used to be like
Oh,
40,
wow.
50,000 people town. Yeah. Makes me want to go and just go check this out. It's going to be like Illinois' ghost town type of deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Southern Illinois is beautiful.
I got to look this up. There's some big historical event that town became famous for. What is
Oh, I know
it?
what it is. I just don't want to bring it up because it's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's
Ah.
that's kind of
We'll
what it
Yeah,
is.
just
that
leave it
happens
at that.
sometimes.
Sure you're
Yeah.
looking at that, Jason. Yeah.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, moving on. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we
I need a
can
beer.
smash cut. Okay, go ahead, Jason.
The green one? Yeah, absolutely. Give me that one there, Chief.
You going to get a beer?
What? You go get a beer, Jason?
Jason, you going to
hear
get a
nothing.
beer?
Can't hear us, Jason? Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again.
Oh, Jason. Oh, he can't even hear himself talking.
Check one, check
Okay, wait.
two.
Hey, let's pitch in and get him lessons on how to sign.
Oh, there you go.
What's he? Oh, he's trying.
But I'm not sure.
So while he's getting that sorted together, Paulie, guess what's going into my kitchen here shortly?
What's that?
I'm getting a 2-tap Keyser put in my kitchen.
Heck, but my-
Nice.
Yeah, so I got a refrigerator. I'm gonna build it. So I got a refrigerator. It's actually designed for outdoor kitchens and everything, so it doesn't have a freezer in it. So I don't have to negotiate that. And so I'm not sure that I'll be able to comfortably fit 2 5-gallon carboys and a CO2 tank in there. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is getting some 3 gallons because they're slightly less diameter and shorter. and
Yeah.
put those in there, and basically beer gun, into the 3 gallons from my 5-gallon carboy once it's all done and everything, and put it in there. So the primary reason is my wife wants to be able to do sparkling water and things like we talked about when I was down in Richmond. And so we're going to have one tap be some form of sparkling water and one tap be beer.
I'm going to build it
Okay.
at home, but I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool. So you're gonna build this yourself? What kind of
Yes.
things do you do?
I really didn't
You know what? I'll give you one piece of advice when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Get the tanks that don't have the barb on the end.
Fuck you, dude.
Because like
Fuck
they,
you. I'm
just
gonna
about like
build
I'm
you a
just a
nice home
geek
just for
about
you to still feed it
cleaning
one
things.
house a month.
It's so much easier to take the beer nut off, grab the thing, clean the line, and then hook it back up.
Okay. Yeah. So I also, I'm also going with the philosophy that we talked about before with those little garden pump bottles to be able to just run line cleaner through as I need to. So not have to take everything apart, just run line cleaner. I'll take everything apart like once or twice a year, change the lines, that kind of thing. But for the most part, just run line cleaner through every now and again. So.
That makes sense. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Have fun doing that thing.
Yeah, I'll. The biggest concern I have is I don't exactly know where the coolant lines are on this, and the last thing I want to do is puncture one of those. So
You know what?
Yeah, go
Piece of
ahead.
advice with if you can, just put everything through the door. There's no coolant lines in the door.
So I thought about that. Put everything through the door, and I actually also thought about building a very thin collar around that I can like put things through the collar in the door because I want to go off the top, but I'm thinking about because I'm going to put it next to my what's the word I'm looking for? My cabinets, so I was actually thinking about building because it's a refrigerator that's designed, like I said, for outdoor kitchens, so it can slide into an opening.
Okay.
So I was thinking about building an opening, attaching the faucet to that, and then kind of running through like that. So
if you're building the collar, I would put that on the door, but I would highly doubt there's any kind of lines going through the top, because if there are lines going through the top, when you disconnect that top, you'd be disconnecting refrigerant lines and stuff like that, which you don't do that with people that build keysers. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but this isn't a chest freezer. It's like a refrigerator. So the door's on the front.
I would say build a collar or put it on the door then.
That's my thought.
Guys, the only side I might do would be just, I don't know, because like the one fridge that I have one through the side, but that's my gas line. That's the only hole that's shown through the side. It's for the manifold right there on the side wall. So, and like I said, text me tomorrow. I'll send you pictures of what I got built at my place.
Okay, we'll do. So the other thing I was thinking about is like a lot of times with these mini freezers, mini refrigerators, the coolant lines are in the side, not in the top.
Exactly.
So I was thinking about drilling down through the top as well to be able to run, the lines up through and into the, like that. So if I can do that, then I'll run my CO2 line down through the top as well and just not worry about it.
Okay.
He's making a lot of noise, isn't he?
You know what? I'm sure you might be able to buy a schematic, or you might be able to get a schematic from the manufacturer.
I thought about that, contacting the manufacturer and asking them about the coolant lines.
Where they're run.
Yeah.
Because that, if they're cool with that.
Well, I mean, they're probably gonna say, "Well, it'll void the warranty," and I'll be like, "Well, yeah, but
I don't care. This is 15 years old. Yeah, I'm not looking for no warranty on it.
I'm not worried about the warranty. I just want to make sure that when I drill into this thing, I'm not going to kill it, you know?
If I remember right, use hot water or something, and it somehow shows you. But I know there's videos.
You know what?
Seen them.
All right, Rick. Instead of me playing telephone, George, Uncle Rick's got. He was just telling me something. I'm gonna have him tell you because it'd be easier than me trying to regurgitate it.
Makes sense.
No, I need to get up and have a cigarette anyway. So, sorry.
Very sorry.
So what I was telling Paulie was simply that I have seen YouTube videos that tell you how to tell where the lines are in a fridge. If I remember right, it's something about like hot water, and you turn it up real cold, use hot water and something you can kind of tell somehow. But if you look, if you just Google it, I'm sure you'll come up with it. And supposedly it's pretty reliable.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
more than one. I've seen a lot of them. So, and that if you go into like some forums and stuff about keysers and different stuff, you'll find like different people will tell you that a lot of them it's impossible to get a schematic for, especially older ones. It's like the company might have gone out of business, or they don't even have that, haven't sold that model in years, and they don't even have it themselves anymore.
Yeah, this one's new, and so it's still.
Well, you got that going for you then.
Yeah, I do have that going for me, but I am still wondering if. But I mean, at the same token, the company that makes it is, and I'm not saying it because I'm hiding it, but I just can't remember what it is. But it's Island something. But they make it, like I said, designing it for outdoor kitchens. So I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of modification for that is not common. So yeah, maybe I'll reach out to them tomorrow and see if they can provide that to me, or at least just tell me the coolants on the sides.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't know. I was thinking a lot of them are kind of like people use, like the cheaper ones and stuff from, you know what I mean, Home Depot and.
I do, yeah, and
and that's what I was kind of talking about, because a lot of them, 2 years later they're gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's heard of the company after that.
So it's called Urban Islands is the name of the company that made
that sounds like they exclusively do outdoor kitchens.
Oh, they do. That's all they do, and so they do outdoor kitchens.
Really good chance you'll find something, and chances are there even if there's lines in the side, if it's a commercial thing, there might be like a corner where you can run the lines. You know what I mean? If there's coolant lines on the side, they might leave like one corner where it's like 4 or 5 inches clear to run lines and stuff like that, because it's commercial and they don't know what application it's going into. Because I would think they don't want their CO2 inside of it.
Well, a lot of the ones I've seen where people have built ones like this, they do put the CO2 tank inside of it. And so that's an option. Yeah, and that's an option. But if I can keep the CO2 tank outside, I would prefer that, because that gives you a better, more accurate reading on like how much CO2 is left inside of it and everything. So Jason, I don't know how much you heard, but tomorrow I'm having a refrigerator delivered that I'm going to turn into a Keyser.
Oh, for inside the house.
For inside the house, I'm going to have 2 taps. Nice. One's going to be sparkling water, and the other one's going to be beer.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to be so glad you did that.
Yeah. So, cool. Yeah.
So what kind of work are you going to have to do on it?
Hopefully not much. Hopefully not much, because it's not a chest freezer. It's just a refrigerator, but it doesn't have a freezer inside. So I'm hoping that I can just go through the top and then put one of those posts on and drill an extra hole for a CO2 line to go in and just be done, basically.
So you'd have your taps near the top of the fridge?
I would have my, those metal posts that stick up out of Keysers, and then it has the 2 taps, the towers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of those is what I'm fixing to do. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. That's very cool.
Yeah.
And you can find those towers real cheap because I see them all the time on all the social media pages that people are selling stuff. You can find a 2-3 tap tower for real cheap.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I'll look. I have to look for one. So.
or you can always be innovative and build your own out of wood. I've always wanted to do that. A real nice tower, build it out of some like oak and stain it and all that. That's just me though.
Yeah.
I might do that one day. You never know.
That's an option. That's an option. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a permanent picture in your kitchen, it's got to look good.
It does, and I completely agree. It does have to look good. So I definitely want to make sure that I can limit the amount of like exposed lines and everything like that are involved. So
yeah, you can buy those towers. They're real nice. You can get the 2 or 3 tap tower. It's out. Everything's right down the middle. You drill one hole and 4 screws and put it right into place. So
right, yeah,
Plug and play.
plug and play, absolutely.
Plug and play, and then you can do your whole, line cleaner thing. Which fine. I've had so many friends that they've gotten kegerators. They're like, "Hey, could you help me out?" And I look at all these lines. I'm like, "Oh God, no! I got to rebuild this whole thing." I'm soaking all the shake and tappers and like PVW and sanitizer and all that. And I got a buddy of mine that to this day, because I haven't got around to, I don't have the heart to make this guy spend $70 for that pump. I know he can build it for like 10 and just buy the line cleaner for 20.
Right.
I just haven't gotten around to that. Whenever he asks me to clean his lines, it works for me though, because I do it the old school. Yeah. I do it when I'm cleaning his lines, I'm cleaning a keg of mine too.
Oh,
I fill
okay.
PVW, get it, and then I'm running through the lines. I dump it out, check it out, make sure it's clean. I run rinsing water through it and dump it out. And then I fill it with sanitizer and shake it up. So I got like 3 kegs right now ready to go at my house, which are actually pretty badass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a way to do it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, you could use it the pumpy deal, but you can do it this way, and then I got a clean keg ready to go. Sweet.
Yeah.
Not brew day. Oh, it's brew day. I should clean my lines today. All right.
It's funny. I was just thinking about that at the beginning of the webcast. I have not cleaned my my Keyser lines in a little while. Probably a little bit too long. So
what'd you think of the
IPA? I'm telling you, get that system that George was talking about. It's nice,
dude.
He's the one that told me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I introduced George to that. It's the best. Like I firmly believe anybody who has a Keyser should have 2 bottles, one with liquid line cleaner, one with sanitizer, with ball lock inserts, and there's no possible way you could clean lines easier than that. There we go. Here we go.
That's what my fridge looks like, guys. And so you can see,
Okay.
it's designed to go into a space like this.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I was thinking about like kind of extending my cabinets a little bit and building it into the cabinets.
So you're gonna put the tower on the countertop? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, I've got like, I'm not sure if it's granite, but it's like some sort of stone countertop. So I wasn't going to extend that. I was going to create like a wood topped countertop, like a nice stained wood or something, and then come out of that perhaps. Or maybe do the traditional, just straight out the top of the Keyser. I wasn't exactly sure which.
Okay.
So,
well, if you decide to have them build a cabinet, make sure you insulate that collar coming from the fridge to the countertop.
Yes.
But then are all these, like I see all these shelves. Can you take all those shelves out? Is there that hump in the back?
There's a little bit of a hump in the back, but it should be plenty of clearance for see if there's a better picture. It should be plenty of clearance because you can take these bins out and I should be able to fit them in just fine.
All right. Well, one thing what I did to my beer fridge, like the drawers on the bottom, get yourself a piece of plywood. As long as you got the headspace, you get yourself a piece of plywood you don't ever have to use that hump again, is above that. It's got a flat surface to keep your kegs on. And then underneath, you can keep that for cans and bottles and stuff like that.
And honestly, I thought about that because, and Jason, I'm not sure if you heard this part, but actually what I'm planning on putting into this is 3-gallon kegs, not 5-gallon kegs. And
no, I did not hear that part. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm planning on putting in 3-gallon kegs, and so basically do my regular 5-gallon, and then I'll transfer from my 5-gallon into a 3-gallon, and for ones I'm going to bring inside.
I see.
But I'm I'm still going to use my 5-gallon kegs and everything.
Yeah,
So
that fridge is too short to fit a 5-gallon keg.
It's just barely not, but I'm not sure I'd be able to fit 2 in. And
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so but if I can fit 2 in, then Bob's your uncle. I'm gonna, but yeah.
Here's another idea, George, because it's got that hump. Do you have enough room in that hump to put 1 5-gallon and put because I at the other, like I said, I'll send you these pictures that I've done about the fridge that I've been working on for years. I have it to where there's a shelf because at first I had all 4 of them on the same plane and it didn't work. A couple of the kegs that I had to drop lower, but I built the shelf just for the hump, and you can get one of your 3 gallons on there.
So you're thinking maybe do 1 5-gallon and 1 3-gallon, like do my beer in a 5-gallon and her water in a 3-gallon.
Exactly.
Yeah, if that'll work, then yeah, I have no problem with doing that.
Like I said, remind me tomorrow. I'll send you some pictures in the morning of what I've done to the beer fridge. Like I said, I'll send you a picture of the beer fridge that was given to me. It was built, and I've been making modifications from it. So,
okay,
it's a whole Frankfurt Bluegrass Fest fridge that I always talk about that Brian gave us from Blue Island.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so that should be arriving tomorrow.
Right on.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess you just do some measuring and figure it out, because I'm not seeing what you're dealing with in my head. I see what you got, but I'm not seeing it in my own eyes.
Yeah.
So
I'll see if I can't throw some kegs in and take some pictures and send it over to you guys so you can see.
Please do. Yes.
Yeah. So,
yeah, exactly. It'll be fun.
All right.
Time to round up.
I think so.
Let's wrap it up. Yeah.
All right. On. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Catch us next Thursday here on Facebook and YouTube under A Nice Place to Brew. We do our webcast every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you can't wait that long and need more of us, check out our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. Under the name A Nice Place to Brew, we have 40 plus episodes with a range of home brewing and craft beer topics. Check it out. Website is www.aniceplacetobrew.com, and our social media links are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at A Nice Place to Brew and Nice Place to Brew. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Raise a glass and say, it takes a lot of shitty beer to make good. Wait. Sorry, I messed that
Cheers.
up. It takes a lot of good beer to make great beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.